What's up? So today we got Pretty Little Liars Season 4 recap. So last time we did the Pretty Little Liars Season 3 recap, and what I thought of it was an okay season, but will this season be better than the last one? So this season starts off after the lodge fire, where the girls only have one person to trust, and that is Mona. But obviously, they kind of have, untrustworthy Mona after the crap that she put them through for 3 seasons. For 2 seasons pretending to be A. But she basically explains that she doesn't know who threw Ian off. She knows that Wilden and Melissa were both in the masks at the Halloween party, but she doesn't know who threw Ian off the bell tower back in season 1. That wasn't her. That was someone else, because she has no idea who that is. So when they tried to get into the file, A deletes all of them. But yeah, the new A's moniker is saying kisses every time it ends a text. It would say a text, and I would say kisses. A. Don't know why this is a thing, but it is. So yeah. So we learned that the girls are pretty mad when they learned that Mona parked their van, but then loses it to Toby, who Toby gave to A on facts that Toby would give. A would give Toby facts on what happened to Toby's mom, because that's the whole season with Toby's season, finding out what happened to his mom like a couple years ago, when his mom, they say she killed herself, but Toby doesn't want to believe that his mom did that. So that's basically what Toby's arc is in the season. That Toby, there's also a Ravenswood show that connects into the Halloween special, which I didn't watch this time because I don't want to watch Ravenswood. It was a failed attempt to make a show, and that's why I didn't watch it. That's why I'm deciding not to recap the show, because it was a failed attempt of making their first Riverdale spinoff. It didn't do well, and it got canceled after 1 season. Caleb's in it, but my boy Caleb is in that spinoff, but I'm not going to watch it because it has nothing to do with it may have Caleb in it, but it also introduces a new character named Miranda, who Caleb discovers that on a grave there's a picture of someone who looks exactly like Caleb, and that gets into Ravenswood. But I'm not going to watch or talk about that, because while that's happening, Hannah and Caleb, Hannah dates a guy named Travis. Well, Caleb, that's just a way to have. So Hannah and Caleb break up. She dates Travis for a little bit, and then they break up off screen. Yeah, because they're like, now that Ravenswood has failed, I guess we can take this minor character and break them up. I guess this Travis guy does come back until season 5. But for this season, he and Hannah are just a one-done relationship. They just brought him in to have Hannah have a boyfriend while her ex-boyfriend doing Ravenswood adventures. Speaking of Ravenswood, there is a person named Mrs. Grunwald who they think knows what happened to Allie, since they think it was her that pulled them out of the fire. But she pretends like she doesn't know who Allison is, and so they take it as is. But it's revealed that she actually does know who Allison is, and she's the one that pulled Allison up from the ground. Yes, Allison is alive. She's not dead. She's the one that, for season 4, there was 2 scenes with a hand coming up, which was revealed to be Allison's, and then there was another hand picking up that hand, which was revealed to be Mrs. Grunwald taking Allison's hand. And the main character is kind of shocked. They all thought Allie was dead, but no. She's alive, she's fine, she's well, but she doesn't appear in this season much. She only appears to act. Yeah, there's also Shauna, who loves Jenna, and also who transfers from her old school to be on Allie's swim team. And also Ariel said that Jenna also loses her sight. Yeah, remember how for most of season 3 she had her sight back? Well, season 4 just was like crapping and made her lose her sight again off screen. Toby does say that the surgery didn't work and it goes in and out, but yeah, and also the actress who played Jenna was pregnant during this season. Yeah, she was pregnant, so they had to so during one of the parties they have someone try to attempt to kill Jenna, which is their way to have Jenna written off the show so her actress can have her child. So yeah, but anyway, yeah. So what else happens is that Ezra proved so Arya has decided to break off from dating a 25-year-old man to now dating a karate instructor, who is the karate instructor of her friend Holden. Remember him, the guy who barely showed up, who showed up in season 3 only to then leave? Yeah, this is his karate instructor. He's 27, and like Ezra, Arya develops a crush on him and then dates him. What's up with this show and having Arya want to be with 27-year-old men? I don't get this. What's up with Arya and Moy? Yeah. Then when Jake sees Ezra yelling at some guy, yeah. So also remember Malcolm, Maggie's son. It's revealed that he's not even Ezra's son at all. So that's basically just a throwaway plot point. It's revealed by Maggie wanting to move Malcolm all over the way to Seattle to keep him from seeing Ezra, which kind of makes her sort of a terrible person. And then what happens is that Veronica Hastings reveals to Ezra that he's not even on Malcolm's birth certificate. He's not listed as father. So he makes it to reveal that he's not even the dad at all, and she led him on to believe that he was his father, her child, until she revealed that he actually wasn't. And when she was mad at Ezra, probably in college or after high school, she decided to sleep with another guy, and that's the real father of Malcolm. We never see him. Malcolm's never brought up again. So this is just a one-gun plot point. So yeah, so even with this reveal of Ezra not being Malcolm's father and Maggie leading him on to make him believe it is, she considered to be a terrible human being by not even let Ezra see him. Ezra does make some plot points that he's done everything to him that a father would do to their child, but she's like, I don't care, I'm not going to let you see my son out of the way, and moves him to Seattle without Ezra ever seeing him. What a terrible person this Maggie turned out to be. Because, okay, Ezra does make some, that he would learn taking the baseball games and learn that he liked milk with cereal and learned what his favorite stuffed animals were and learned which one he would be when he would wake up in the middle of the night. That's basically what father would do. But she's just like, oh wait, I'm not letting you near my son. Crap you, Ezra, and just leave. Arya tries to defend Ezra by getting mad at him, getting mad at her, but it doesn't do anything. It's just a plot. So yeah. So as I was saying, yeah, it's just a plot point. It's just like oh hey, Ezra's not really the father of the child that he thought he was, and Maggie's not letting him near him. That just makes her a terrible person. Speaking of Ezra turns his stalkerish level on lock. He's a stalker during this season. He watches Arya. They think he's A. Yeah, they think he's A. It's revealed that Ezra's a pervert. He's pervert times 2 because he was dating Arya. It's revealed that he kissed Allison because Allison revealed that she thought Allison lied to him, so he decided to kiss her. And Arya, they tried to think that he's A, but Arya's just thinking that Ezra tries to be a creeper and tries to like turn it on to like Spencer's like sleepwalk to the school and there's something wrong with her and Arya's fully believing him. So as Spencer goes all crazy thinking, hey, he's A, Arya, Ezra is A, and yeah, so Arya, when Arya discovers discovers a book that Ezra is writing, she doesn't trust Ezra anymore and he reveals that he knew about her all this time. He knew about her all this time and he chose to be in a relationship with a person that he knew from Allison. And he was writing a book about Allison, which makes him even more of a creeper that he would write a book about it. Yeah, and Arya just loses it, breaks up with him, and because of this, Arya is going undone. She wants to ruin his life. She wants to burn. Hannah even says to burn his place down. Yeah, but they're able to realize that he's not A. And there's also a whole thing between Allison trying to get Allison, who's alive, as I said before, trying to get Shauna to bring her money. But when A threatens to tell her to don't come back again to Rosewood, she just says that she doesn't have the money for Shauna, for Allison. And now it's up to Emily in the relationship with Paige to do the job. But when Paige learns that Allison is alive, instead of respecting Emily's wishes, she betrays Emily and gives the note to the cop, causing Emily to be like, I'm sorry, but we over, and breaks up Paige. Wow. Yeah. And also, forgot to mention, so Darren Wilden is dead, everybody. I forgot to mention that. Darren Wilden was killed. We don't know who killed Wilden. He's just dead for most of this season. And it's fully blamed on his mom because that night his mom came to him while she was supposed to be in New York, stole the gun of her ex-husband, Tom, while Kate was throwing out Rosewood. Forgot to mention that back in season 3, she was taking out Rosewood because she and Hannah had that beef. Remember that beef, and Hannah, saying those stuff about her and that just caused in season 2. She said that stuff about her, and or is it season 6? Said that stuff about her, and totally, said that stuff about Hannah. Hannah said stuff about her causing Kate to want revenge. She gets Hannah drunk, then pretends to be all sobered up to get Hannah in trouble. Then goes to Rosewood. Then photoshops her in the shower and posts it to everyone. And then when Hannah finally exposes her, she gets kicked out of Rosewood and never shows up in the show again because she's the worst character. And also Spencer knew her from a previous time back when she was like a child or something, when in horse camp. I know I'm taking from season 4 logic, this is like season 2, 3 logic, but I just mentioned that Kate got kicked out, and that's why Hannah's dad's kind of the worst because he chooses to spend time with his wife more than his ex-wife. Because doesn't Hannah matter too? He only shows up when the plot demands it, and I'm thinking, he only shows up when the plot demands it. Like, that's the only time he shows up. So with the new information of Ezra not being A and with Ezra not being A and all that stuff, even Miss De Laurentiis, who we learned something later about this Miss De Laurentiis, she even shows behind Spencer's back as Spencer's looking at the door, but her mom calls her before she can discover that it's Miss De Laurentiis or whoever this is. So yeah, so Arya's mom, who's dating her boyfriend Jack, has been who's been away since because Arya suggested she be away, is totally back, and Arya's not thinking just because everything that went. But Ezra, she's thinking, hey, you like care more about your boyfriend than you do about us, and after the whole yeah, and also to get away, Arya goes to Syracuse with her dad. She meets a guy. They sleep together, and then she leaves. Yeah, we're never gonna see that guy again who she slept with. So why they bring him into the show? Just have Arya sleep with another guy? Arya sleeps with a lot of people. She never slept with Jake or there's also a guy named Connor who works at the brew, who's a new worker, who Arya, kisses one time, so he decided to spread a rumor that they slept together, and Arya's kind of mad saying how could you do that? And he's like, do you get you hanged out with you and Mr. Fitz were more than an English teacher and student, weren't you? And then Mr. Fitz Ezra just shows up out of nowhere saying, hold up, Arya, you're not to be in here. But guess what? I heard everything of what he said, so yeah, but then he never shows up again. Ezra is able to convince Mr. Hackett. Yeah, in the pilot, there is a thing where Arya dreams of Ezra being arrested. It's just Arya is daydreaming about Ezra going to jail. It's just they tease you with Ezra going to jail, only to learn it's a dream. Why couldn't they have him actually go to jail and then him never appear in the show again? And why is Arya daydreaming about that even though prior to that she was done with him? That makes no sense. Why does she daydream about a guy that she's over with going to prison? What do you think about this Hulkbuster? That's just lazy writing. No, I said that in season 3 review. Oh, that just makes no sense. Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Link? Yeah, that also doesn't make no sense. Oh yeah, let's battle Ganondorf. Ganondorf's not here. Sorry about my two guys, but totally that doesn't make any sense. Why Arya is daydreaming about the guy that she broke up with, but they get back together. Obviously, she finds out she's A and then breaks it. Find out that he was writing a book about Allison, and it just doesn't make any sense why they wrote him as this character. Okay, he was perverty, but now he's stalkerish. Why? He's also perverty times pervert because now he's just all hey. Now he's all hey, now he's kissing Allison now. So he kissed Allison in that one flashback. Yeah, they're trying to hide him. Yeah. So what happens is that Spencer goes doing drugs over this, and goes over trying to tell Arya, and so her parents find out. She misses Toby's special dinner, and then the alcohol and drug prevention guy shows up, named Dean, and he's like, hey, he'll help her, and but he'll help her. Melissa leaves after. Yeah, so there's a scene where they find out that Allison was making masks of her so people could be like Allison. So they discovered that Melissa got one of these masks. So Arya and Spencer plant this mask in Spencer's house and plant it there so it can be deep. So then what happens is that yeah, so they discover that she discovers that Emily basically said, Melissa basically lets it all out. Basically lets it that she was the one that she she knew that Wilden was there. Wilden locked Arya in that box, but in that Halloween episode, we heard two people talking. We'll never find out who those two people were, because the show's gonna drop, and Melissa just flies to London, and then just doesn't show up to the final episode, because that can happen, I guess. She just doesn't show up, and just doesn't show up till the final episode of the season. So I guess that can happen. And yeah, so Mona is my, as I keep saying, Mona is my least favorite character. But she goes on to date Mike, and Mike Montgomery, Arya's brother, and tries to tell him, and Arya tries to say how he's bad news, and says that Mona tried to break up their parents, but he explains that, hey, they broke themselves up, and about how Mona's dangerous, and she's like, hey, you forgave our father, why don't you forgive Mona? Mona's the worst, but they go on to date some more until he eventually breaks up with him, and yeah, Mona's the worst. So yeah, so in Hannah and Caleb are the best couple in this entire show. We all know. And after the whole Hannah's mom thing, Mona tries to confess, but they let her out of jail. They put her into Radley, but they let her out of Radley again. So yeah, and also Ren is suspicious. Remember Ren? He shows up to Mrs. Hastings, and then he says when he's calling someone, he's his ex-mother-in-law or his mother-in-law, whatever that means. We'll never find out what that means. Who knows? Ren is a creep, and yeah. So then I'm just trying to cover every basis I'm trying to remember, and Jessica De Laurentiis, Miss De Laurentiis, lets Emily. So what happens is that A tries to kill Emily's mom. Emily's shoulder hurts, so she starts taking her mom's pill, which caused her to bump her head, and the shoulder injury caused herself to stop swimming for a while. When Emily's trying to practice college for swimming, Paige tries to Paige doesn't tell the interviewer she's going with about her injury. He tells her, and he's like, hey, if your friend would have told me about it, I would have let you stay if you kept down here. And Emily's already mad that Paige lied to her about it, but not telling him. They invite Jenna to the party. Jenna's like, hey, what do you know about Allison? And she's like, I don't tell you guys anything. And then that's when someone tries to knock Jenna out, but that's their way of saying, hey, Jenna's actress was pregnant, so they had to take her out of the show. Not take her out, she's gonna come back because they didn't kill her off. Shauna is revealed to be working for Allison and giving her money, as I said. It's revealed that Shauna and Allie knew each other from they were childhood friends for 3 years. So after Shauna gets that scare of trying to stay out of Rosewood, Shauna gets a scare of trying to stay out of someone trying to tell her to stay out of Rosewood. Allison tries to say about how she trusts her friend Emily more than them, and then in the finale, everything comes to a head after Noel Khan saves them. Yeah, Noel saves them. They thought it would be Allie, but it was actually Noel, and then Allison explains about everything that happened, the Jenna thing, how she thought that Jenna was A, so she told her if she ever came back to Rosewood, she would bury her, but it was revealed that she wasn't A. She thought that Spencer was A. That's why she drugged them and put them to sleep. But then she thought Toby was A. She thought everyone was A. And then she thought Spencer. But then one night, while she was walking back and seeing her mom, Allie was hit in the head with a rock and was buried alive by her own mom. Yeah, her own mom buried her alive. But then the episode ends with that same thing happening to Miss De Laurentiis. Miss De Laurentiis being buried by someone. We think she died. I think Miss De Laurentiis is dead, but we don't know who killed her. But speaking of what happened, they found after what happened, after everything that happened, after everything that happened, they have a confront with A. Ezra fights A. Ezra fights A. Ezra gets injured and A escapes, and that's where season 4 ends. What's gonna happen? Allison's alive. Her mom is probably dead, and Ezra is injured. So yeah, that's where season 4 ends. With Ezra probably going to be in the hospital. I still don't trust him. Ezra's still a pervy McPerverson and stalky McStalkerson. The season made him out to be. It made him out to be an even more terrible person. I'm glad they finally got rid of Maggie. She was starting to be likable until they decided, hey, let's turn her into a terrible person by keeping Ezra away from a son that wasn't his, and the son's probably not going to come back again. And yeah, and the whole Ravenswood thing. Not going to review or watch the show because it was a one-season mess that I know that everyone disliked. So I'm not going to go into recapping. Don't know why they made it. They could have just done what they did with Green Arrow Canary, made a pilot, and then just didn't produce the show. But this show went ahead, and it was a terrible mess. As I've seen, it only lasted like one season, so we know it did bad. But we know it did bad because it's a terrible mess of a show. So what's gonna happen in season 5? I don't know. There was 22 episodes in season 4. There was 22 episodes in season 1, 25 in season 2, 24 in season 3, and 24 in season 4. So how many episodes will season 5 have? We'll just have to see when we get there. But when I just start reading the show after this recap, because that's what I do. But I hope Caleb comes back. I hope he tells everything what happened in Ravenswood, or will that just be dropped? Because it's the show, it'll just be dropped. Yeah, so Allison's alive. She's not dead, and Mrs. Grunwald saved her life. I thought that last season's Halloween special was better than this one. Because at least this one had a thing to happen. This was just Mrs. Grunwald saved Allie, and then on the episode. It did have creepy mines and Ravenswood and a bad shop effect, but still. We still don't know who the person in that Emily mask was. We know that Hannah was into crime books, and we know for now that Detective Linda Tanner and Detective Gabe Holbrook have Cece in questioning. And Melissa came back and revealed something. She revealed something to Peter that we don't know what it was. And also Jason came back after a whole season being gone. He just left the hospital and now he's back. So maybe season 5. Yeah, and also for some reason Miss De Laurentiis had something against Spencer because she would always tell Allison to smoke her out. So I guess Miss De Laurentiis said something terrible, didn't like the Hastings because of something that Peter Kira Hastings did, probably after sleeping with her. But now Miss DeLaurentis is dead. Yeah. Introduced her in season 4, kill her introduced her in season 2, or season 1, but she was a full character in season 2, but then kill her in season 4. Yeah, that's the show. That's the show. And now, so we have Maya dead, Nate dead, Wilden dead, Garrett dead, Ian dead, and now Miss DeLaurentis is dead. We have 5 people dead already in the show, and we all 7 if we count Marion Kavanaugh, but she died off screen. 7 people have been dead in the show so far. 7 people. 7 people are dead in the show, and this show just makes no sense. There's also a noir episode that I skipped because I was like, it's a noir episode. It probably had nothing to do with the actual series. But yeah, and also, so that was season 4. So I hope it was a good one. I'll see you next time for some more Pretty Liars recaps. I think. But yeah, but stay recappy happy. Remember, say it with me. Stay recappy happy, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, stay recappy happy. Yeah, you should really stay recappy happy, and I'll see you next video. What do you think, Crossy? See you in the next video, kids. Or adults, or teenagers, whoever watches the show. See you in the next video. Yeah, you crusty. No, you guys should listen to me. Hey, you guys in the video, what do you think, Sideshow Luke Barry? Or Sideshow Mel? Or what do you think, Sideshow Bob? Do you realize that Sideshow Bob's in prison? See you next time, kids. See you next time, kids. Or teenagers, or adults, or whoever watches this program.